it's Josh with RPGamer, and I'm here with David of BitFlip, and he's going to show us some Minion Masters. So what you got for me?
Everybody, all right, well this is Minion Master. Minion Master is a digital tabletop game. We are hitting the intersection of a lot of different genres. It's genre busting is one way of putting it. It's a combination digital tabletop, real-time and turn-based strategy, and collectible card game. And so how it's played is you come to the game board, and each player has an avatar that's the representation in the world. And the idea is you want to destroy your opponent's avatar, and you do that by destroying their minions. So you have a deck of cards, and in this deck of cards are two basic types. Summon cards, which bring your minions to the board to fight for you, and modifier cards, which somehow change your minions or the rules of the game or something in the game world. Your currency is mana, which down here you have a little mana counter, and you have to discard to earn mana. So the first thing you have to do is figure out what am I going to throw away and what am I going to bring to the board. Right. So we can go ahead and come here and we can bring out a knight, and we can bring out a footman, and once I've figured out what I want to play, I'll just commit it. All players are actually playing their cards at the same time. So that's how it's part turn-based and part real-time. So my opponent here has played a couple of kobolds and an archer. And you'll notice that my guys are moving and acting on their own. And so that's the great thing about Minion Master, is that the game goes very quickly. Each one of these minions has their own special ability and set of tactics, and so they know how to take advantage of what's going on the board. And you can, between rounds, take your own look and see what the position of everything is, what cards you've been dealt in your hand, and go ahead and make your play based on that. And so there's lots of information you have. I can hover over a guy and I can see exactly how far he can move, what the edge of his attack radius is. I can see what his tactics are and what his special ability. So the knight here, when he kills a minion, he'll go ahead and take their tile. And if there's another minion straight in line, he'll go ahead and attack it. So I have a knight, and he's set up with two kobolds right in a row. So I know he's going to try and attack those guys. If he kills the first one, he'll get to attack the second one. I can also tell who has initiative based on these are all my minions on the board. It tells me the order they're going to go. So once these guys start fighting, then it's turn-based. My guy goes, your guy goes. So I can come down here. I can see that this archer can hit my knight, and I can see if he doesn't take out these kobolds, they can both hit him. So I want to do something to try and buff him up.
Right.
And so I have a couple of cards, a couple of extra life cards here that I can play. I can actually get them both out, and when I also have this footman down here. When I have more than one guy, I can choose where a modifier will go. So I could give both extra life cards to the knight, or one to each, or both to the footman. So I can choose the knight for my first card, and it'll ask me, here's your second extra life card. I'll go ahead and give that to my footman back here. And then the round will play out. My opponent that round summons some more guys on the board. You can see my extra lives are applied. And here comes my knight. Kills the first guy. Kills the second guy. Boom. That's his trample attack. And so now everybody else is going to come take their turn. The footman, his special ability is counterattack. If he successfully defends, he gets to immediately attack back. And so he's a great minion to bring out against the kobold. Kobolds are super fast but super weak minions. And the footman just got 2 extra attacks that round, by drawing the kobold in and blocking his attack and counterattacking. So that's the basics of it. Here we've got a small 2-player map. We support up to 30,000 or 30,000 plus tile maps, 6-player matches, and the whole game takes about you can do it in 15 minutes. So I can come in here and set up a 6-player match and pick a different deck for all the AIs, or if you're playing multiplayer, you'll your friends will be picking their own decks. Decks are customizable. You can build your own.
Okay, now you had mentioned that this had elements of a collectible card game. Does that mean, do you earn cards, or does it go kind of like a microtransaction where you buy new cards, or?
Well, what we do is when you buy the game, you get the whole set of cards. You get 3 pre-built decks from each of our factions. Right now we have, we're in beta still, so we have a fantasy faction and a horror faction with 9 minions in each faction and about 50 to 75 cards you can play with. And if you buy the game, you'll also get our first expansion, which will be steampunk.
Okay.
And so we like to say, with the cards, you get 300 or 400 cards, which is a lot more than any other kind of collectible card game. And then if you want to build gigantic decks, you can do that. We have each card has a deck point value. So, you can always play a balanced game. It's not like whoever has more cards is going to be the winner, or going to have better cards. If you have a very powerful card, it'll cost you maybe 10 points to put in your deck.
Right.
And you can define at the beginning of the game, say this is a 100-point deck point game, a 1,000 deck point game, a 2,000 deck point game. So it's a lot like Dominion, where you can the base game you can just play it for a long time without needing more.
Okay.
Then if you want more, you can buy more expansions, you can buy packs of cards if you really want to keep adding to your army.
Okay, so you will be selling these separate packs as well as expansions on top of that. Okay. And then, is there any sort of trading aspect with the cards?
Yeah, you will be able to trade your cards with your friends online.
Okay. And I did see you had a level builder on there, so there's a very strong community build you're working with this?
Yeah, there is. So the level editor comes with the game. Also, a deck builder comes with the game. The level editor, it's the same tool that we use in-house to build the pre-built levels. So that's continually getting added to, and actually Delaney right here is building a PAX-inspired level as we speak.
Very cool.
Yeah, so you can, when you can build levels, you can share them with your friends very easily. We'll eventually have a section on the website up where you can make any level you make public, and people can just go through and look at those and download their favorite levels.
When you're doing your deck building, are you limited as far as the number of cards, or if you have a card, you can have as many of those as you want in your deck?
You got it on the nose. So if you have, you end up, I think if you buy the game now, you get something like 37 Summon Kobold cards, these guys right here. Okay. Because there's 21 in our Blitz deck and a couple others splattered throughout. So if you have, 37 Summon Kobold cards in your vault, you can have 37 of those cards in every single deck that you build. Okay.
But you can't exceed 37 in a single deck?
That would be correct.
Okay. Let's see here.
Nice. So we have. You also saw in the small level. In our early levels, we start you off showing everything one at a time. But we have some technology that speeds up the game. So when you have 6 guys and dozens or hundreds of minions on the board, if each one took their turn at once, it would go pretty slow. And we want to keep these games moving fast. So you can just sit down, play a quick match, on a lunch break, or within a few minutes. So what we do is we have our concurrent minion action technology, which optimizes all those turns. So the computer will figure out what happened. It'll figure out that this guy went, that guy went, this dude killed that dude, and it will optimize it into a battle sequence. So you'll see here we're kind of playing in that mode. All these guys start moving around at once and doing the same thing. So once you've kind of figured out the tactics of the game and how everything works, you can just click a button and turn this on, and you really understand, you can still understand kind of what happened and why it happened. And then we also, if you ever want to know exactly what happened, we have a combat log, that shows you every single action that happened, every round. So you can take a look, in depth if you want to know, why did my guy move here? What happened here? Why did this guy kill that guy? What happened?
And I'm noticing in the combat log that it's saying that they hit with a roll, so there is a chance element to all the attacks. It's not straight numbers.
There absolutely is, yes. Okay. So each minion has. We'll go ahead and hover over here. You can see the minion stats up here in this corner. Okay. Each minion has a attack, range, defense, movement, and health stat. And combat is a combination of the attacker's attack plus a roll of a D100 versus the defender's defense. So there's a formula in there, and we tell you what that is. It's attack over attack plus defense plus the roll. Gives you the chance to hit, and so we talk about that on the website. If you really want to get into the nitty-gritty of the numbers, you can. But if you just want to come in real quickly and decide I'm going to try playing cards and see what happens, you can play it casually, or there's a lot of depth if you want to get into it.
All right. Now, the sign of a good minion is that they listen to their master. So is there any way to manually control any of these guys if you want to?
All the control is through cards, but there are cards that let you manually control them. So we have the defend tile card, for example, lets you pick a minion and pick a tile and stick them there. And they will go defend that tile with their life. Unless, of course, you play the rescind orders card, which takes away any orders you've given to them. So we have lots of modifier cards which change how a minion behaves. You can always you can hover over a minion and you can see their tactics. So this sorceress here, she has a ranged splash attack. She's a glass cannon type character, and I can see that she will target the most enemies possible, look for the least collateral so she hits as few of her own team as possible, so on down the line. And this helps you figure out what your minion is going to do and who they're going to attack, where they're going to move, and we have cards that will change those tactics.
Okay, so that's like a tactical hierarchy where she'll always do this one first and then that one second and so on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so you can control your minions by changing those tactics through playing cards. And so we always have cards that have them do interesting things. We have cards for the archers, which will make them kind of work as a team and try and take down the strongest minion on the board. We have cards for the footmen, which will make them try and take advantage of their counterattack by going into the middle of as many enemies as possible and trying to draw attacks.
Okay. How well is this going to be modifiable? Like, are you going to have the ability for custom cards or anything, or custom models of any sort, or is it just strictly the level builder?
At the moment, it's strictly the level builder. We would like to have the ability to let people mod the game, but we have to finish the game and get it out first.
Okay. All right. Then I think the final thing I can say is, sell me the game in 30 seconds.
All right. Well, Minion Master is a super fun digital tabletop game. It's a strategy game that is simple to play, but very difficult to master. Minion Master. If you're a tabletop player, imagine a game, with 30,000 plus tiles, hundreds of figures on the board, 6-player matches, no setup, no cleanup, an entire game takes 15 minutes.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it, and it looks like a great game.